So here's some things I think might make the new Star Wars movies a little bit more, I guess, make more sense. And number one, don't reveal the First Order in the first episode and blow your load too early, because you got two more episodes and you want to keep the tension and the suspense and the mystery. Um, and you can have a lot of surprises and explain a lot more stuff. Number two, Kylo Ren. Don't make him related to anybody from the first movies. Um, just make him some sort of general from the Fallen Empire or something. Third, make Rey the daughter of Han and Leia, which makes a lot more sense. She can wield a lightsaber pretty well and wield a blaster pretty well, and is sensitive to the Force. So it kind of makes sense that Rey should be Han and Leia's daughter. So and for the episode 7, I would make the title The New Republic. And just go right into it and just show the New Republic in all its restored glory and give a sense of accomplishment for the rebellion's hard work. So let's go right into it. So here's how a story might go with Star Wars Episode 7, The New Republic. So it's been a generation of peace amongst the galaxy as the New Republic rebuilds the community of worlds from the ashes of the former empire. The rapid progress of the New Republic can be seen in the restored Galactic Senate led by Han and Leia as they unite all the races spread far and wide to help the reconstruction effort. New alliances form as past grievances are put aside for the greater cause. Han, a former general, has been at the forefront of peace negotiations, using his wit and diplomacy as a weapon to bring together opposing factions, while Leia uses her ties to the Force to guide her in balancing the New Republic's ability to unite all beings against its tendency for centralized power and control. And recently, various unexplained reports of loss of life trickle in from the outer worlds. The situation is not of a scale to disrupt the ongoing reconstruction effort, but is concerning enough for the New Republic to send Poe, one of their best star pilots, and a squadron to investigate. So here you kind of avoid all this kind of rehashing of, BB-8 replacing R2-D2 and trekking across the desert and all this stuff. And I do like the Poe and Finn story. I think it could be a better twist on it. Seems a little too convenient. Everyone seems to be in the same spot for no good reason, just to put them there. So I'm trying to see if you can give some logical explanations to how everyone kind of comes to the similar location under following a mysterious trail that no one really links, but in the end, it makes a lot of sense why they were there. So I would go in the movie. I would go ahead and then show Luke, the last Jedi Master in the galaxy, who is seeking guidance from the Force for the best path to restore the Jedi Order. He knows that it will likely take many generations to train enough Jedi Masters to form a Jedi Council, and that he may not even live long enough to realize it. However, he also knows that trying to take on too many apprentices and rush the Jedi Council into existence out of fear will lead to the path of the dark side. Upon Luke's recent guidance from the Force, he felt the need to personally investigate a darkness that he sensed amongst the outer worlds. Knowing that the last of the Sith has been destroyed, Luke feels confident that he would be able to put an end to this darkness and leaves his apprentices to maintain the training grounds while promising to return within a few weeks. So here you're able to see that the New Republic has sent out some reconnaissance and now to investigate some mysterious activity of death and slaughter in the outer worlds. And now Luke kind of senses the same thing. Luke's not tied directly to the Republic, but he's sensing things and going out to investigate on his own. And then also Rey, Han and Leia's daughter, has been missing for years. After being sent as a young girl to train as a Jedi with Luke, a generation of peace and reconstruction efforts proved to Rey that the galaxy had no need for the old ways of the Jedi, and that spending a lifetime of forced training, meditation was a terrible waste of time, while an entire galaxy was in need of help. As a close family friend, Lando's going to make an appearance. He should be one of the main characters. Had found Luke's first lightsaber beneath Cloud City and gave it to Rey in order to impress upon her the importance of becoming a Jedi and continuing the family line of Jedi. Rey did try to continue her training despite her doubts, but with the forced training she received up until she reached young adulthood, she felt she could be more useful to others on her own without the Jedi Order. Frustrated with the bureaucracy of the New Republic and the aloofness of the Jedi, Rey was able to steal the Millennium Falcon from Lando, who, by the way, had the Millennium Falcon last, and asked Chewie to come with her. Chewie, who felt obligated to protect Han and Leia's daughter, who was never interested in political New Republic stuff, and who felt more at home going on adventures on a starship alongside his closest friends, agreed to join Rey. And what I would do is pretty much focus on those two main characters, Rey and Chewie. Just have them travel the galaxy on a few adventures, just a couple, one or two, and then just kind of go over that they are kind of fixing things that the New Republic just is too slow and big to do. So, serving as space vigilantes, Rey and Chewie explored the galaxy and assisted people where they felt the New Republic and the Jedi's influence was non-existent. Among their many adventures, they had been left stranded on a desert planet, scavenging Star Destroyer wreckages for replacement parts, delivering food and medicine to war-torn communities, fighting off bounty hunters, and rescuing hostages. In their most recent humanitarian mission in the Outer Worlds, they encountered a hooded assassin wielding an unstable red lightsaber. Unlike the bounty hunters they fought before, this person gave no demands or spoke any words. Instead, the hooded figure snarled and lunged at Rey and Chewie with the most wild and savage tactics. Because the assassins seemed to be damaging the Millennium Falcon and targeting the food and medicine provisions, his goals seemed to be putting a stop to Rey and Chewie's humanitarian interventions. Surprisingly, the assassin displayed the ability to use force powers as the assassin levitated and threw objects at Rey and Chewie. With Rey wielding both a blaster and a lightsaber, her and Chewie killed the assassin and investigated the body. The eyes of the assassin were yellow, the skin pale, and there were many bionic implants. Rey knew that they were looking at the culprit for the loss of life among towns in the Outer Worlds, which they heard so many rumors about in their travels. But they did not know if this was the end of the terror, or other agents of death remained lurking in the depths of space ready to strike. Knowing that the Sith had been wiped out, Rey and Chewie knew that there had to be someone training people in the ways of the dark side, so they made it their mission to discover their leader and put an end to this terror. So now you have Poe, you have Luke, and Rey, all seemingly through indirect ways meeting up at the same spot, where you can have basically have them infiltrate eventually a main base of sorts. Doesn't have to be a Star Killer base or anything crazy like that. But what I think that should be discovered by the end of this is that you can have what I would like to see is some way that there's a basically a insurgency of genetically engineered Sith slave soldiers and stormtroopers. These soldiers are controlled by a mixture of drugs and implants, similar to Darth Vader's like chair that removes his helmet and replaces it with another one, uh, and I would like to see Finn as a reject of these genetically engineered Sith soldiers, and as a reject of the Sith soldier program, put back into the Stormtrooper army. And during their missions, I like the concept of a Stormtrooper going rogue, but during combat, the Force powers within him somehow activate due to genetic experimentation, and lead him to come to some sort of awakening. Now, it's not like the same type of Jedi awakening, but it's definitely an awakening of of I guess aware of the Force, feeling Force sensitivity, and also seeing visions of maybe Sith, fallen Sith from the past, and um, there's many side effects to these experiments, such as seizures, memories from other lives, hallucinations, and not really full control of the Force. But also from a larger perspective, seeing that he's being used and that his other genetically experimented on brethren are slaves, and he needs to free them. Um, and he's not sure why. He just knows that he should. He doesn't fully understand this. And so that would make a lot of sense when he goes up to Poe and like an imprisoned Poe who was investigating these weird, mysterious murders and deaths and massacres in towns, and uses him to escape. And what I would like to see is him sort of joining forces with Rey and Luke and the New Republic in a way, in a sense, to free his enslaved brethren, Force wielding brethren. And you don't really know who's in command of this new army, and reveal the First Order not in the first film, but leave that mystery and wait till episode 8, and episode 8 will be called the First Order. Okay. And then what I would like to see in the end of all this is basically the Force is a mysterious power that neither Sith or Jedi claim to know everything about, right? So they are in tune with the Force, but they are not all knowing of the Force. I mean, in fact, their mission is to train and to meditate and learn about the Force, but no one knows everything about it. Even all these centuries and all these Jedi masters, no one ever really fully understood what it was and what it meant to bring balance to the Force, because what we saw is basically an elimination of Sith. And is that balance? I don't know. It seems like Jedi is 100% in control once all Sith are dead. Um, that's more like just weighing the scale to one side. So maybe balance, in my new kind of take on this, is that eventually um, Finn and Rey work together to defeat Kylo Ren, who we'll find out who is the general in charge of all these kind of experiments to mind control, force sensitive soldiers for his own, like, his own gain. And then the Jedi and the Sith, in the end, on the final episode, episode 9, Balance of the Force, is after defeating Kylo Ren, they will find that Jedi and Sith realize that the balance of the Force can only be achieved by coexistence. So you can only sustain a separate Force-sensitive community by not being associated with the Republic or the Empire. In ways, the Republic tend to use the Jedi, and the Empire uses the dark side of the Force for their own selfish reasons. And they both realize that they've been corrupted for selfish purposes of very few people. And so they separate, and they realize they have to represent their own community. And this is the balance of the Force, and a conclusion to centuries-old rivalries between Sith and Jedi and dark side and light, where they finally understand that there can never be a total 100% good or 100% bad. It has to be a balance of the two. And that is the new Star Wars trilogy.